Hello again. Glory to Kyros. Last episode's reception has been about as cold as I've come to expect, really. I'm sure the problem is with me, and not that people are actively hating on this game, right? Anyway, we have stuff to do. I want you to stay here while I talk to the boss. Holy shit, look at the evasive stats on this one. Wow. Yeah, that's one way to make sure I don't attack him. Ugh.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kyros' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
Tunon regards you in a thoughtful silence. I agree, Your Honor.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus. Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the tiers.
Okay, but could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name, but you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice.
Well, that's what you get when you're working for the government.
They say the voices of Nerat holds you in higher regard than most. Use this alliance to enter his confidence. It seems unlikely the Archon of Secrets is more honest with friends than with rivals, but to his friends, he has been known to divulge much. The disfavored will likely be less cooperative with your investigation. They will no doubt assume Graven Ash's honor is beyond reproach, which is all the more reason to scrutinize the Archon of War closely. And if the ironclad forces discourage your inquiry, I charge you to make them talk. Speak their language of battle if you must.
The chorus seems like a source of lies. Why bother?
Your intuition may well be correct, but you must give the Scarlet Chorus a chance to give an accounting, even a false one.
You know what? Fair enough.
Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel. The disfavored have made use of the Sage's network of dovecotes and messenger birds as they come under capture. I've heard multiple claims of strategic communications gone missing. The Sages are broken, their citadel in flames, but they were not slaughtered to the last. Some of their numbers still congregate around the smoking husk of their burning library. If they have been reading disfavored communications, learn what they learned, then execute them. There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
Though it's impossible to gauge from his expression, Tunon seems more wary than usual. Okay.
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kyros, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire. Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I am in a privileged position to accomplish incredible deeds.
It pleases me that you grasp your role, as long as you temper it with a sense of duty. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kyros' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title. If your killing spree in the bastard city is any indication, you are no stranger to spreading infamy already.
Did I do that? I don't remember doing that. Oh well.
Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Understood. I will be known as a champion of justice.
Good. It falls to us to set a new standard for these southern barbarians. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tears in Kyros' name.
Tunon raps his gavel against the floor, the singular note resounding throughout the hall. That's one way to make an exit. Ooh, got a whole bunch of skills out of that one. Oh, there he is. I guess you're back to doing your business. Kyros is standard, an imposing sight for both conquered and unconquered alike. Indeed. Oh, these 3 are named. So are these 3. We got some from the chorus here. Okay, so my fellow Fatebinders. Fatebinder, you return. Rogalus looks you up and down with an inscrutable expression. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask. I am feeling generous. Good for you. Okay, do any one of these have any relevance to my mission? I'd like to know more about the tiers. The political entities of the tiers are essentially split between the bastard tier, the younger realms, and the free cities. Of which would you like to know? See, the realms of Azure, Apex, Stalwart, and Haven are collectively known as the younger realms, and together they represent the major political factions of the tiers. For centuries, the younger realms have battled amongst themselves for control of the tiers, with every realm having been at war with each other at some point in memorable history. This lack of unified resistance allowed Kyros' armies to swiftly conquer the tiers. As you say. What can you tell me about the bastard tier? The bastard tier is the most northern of the tiers and was the first to bow to Kyros' reign, though the Nide band fell unwillingly. Kyros had his eye on the bastard tier for many years before he marched on her capital city. This is the hub of trade and commerce. Claim the markets and the people will follow. Alright, I suppose we're all gonna be here. For later, let's ask one question from each. Some guy, I see you've returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vendry as well are the matter of some discussion. Fatebinder's balance regards you with a discerning eye, and for a moment you feel as if she is trying to peer into the very depths of your mind. You have a pretty impressive title right there. What can I do for you? Kallio touches a gentle hand to your shoulder. Can you not, lady? Has anything happened while I was away? There have been whispers that Cairn grew disloyal to Gravenash's command during the campaign in Azure. I took up the mantle of investigation near Plainsgate, and judging the rumors to be true, dispatched Cairn by proclaiming Kyros' Edict of Stone. Oh, interesting. The very earth turned against the traitorous Archon as the region split asunder in righteous judgment. So, you have one edict proclaimed, and I have two? Which makes me your superior. Okay, what's this? Armor against corrode damage. I don't think I've actually encountered. Wait, is corrode like poison? Don't remember. Still. What about you? Ah, some guy. You return, unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. The Fatebinder of War claps you good-naturedly and with excessive strength on the back. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. He regards you with a warm, boisterous smile. Word has reached me regarding your negotiation tactics at Apex. I must admit, I'm impressed you made any headway with the southern wretches. If they are open to reason, it would seem they aren't as ignorant as the Archon of War would have us believe. Come, let us speak freely. Okay. I've claimed the Spire, with Vendry as well. So the court's whispers are true. The Fatebinder rubs his fingers along the underside of his chin, pondering his thoughts with great weight. After a moment, he offers you a wistful sort of smile. Someday, I would like to witness for myself this tower that has risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. Maybe you will, friend. Maybe you will. Okay, if there's nothing else. No, okay, so 3 representatives from each side. That's why they are here. I see. So, what do we get now? Need to gather evidence against the 2 Archons. We can start with the voices of Nerat. Ha, interesting. We already have some evidence uncovered, which is from what we've chosen in the conquest mode in the beginning. Very interesting. Okay, so looks like we have to start with the voices of Nerat. So be it. Where is that? Alright, we are here. This is Lithian's Crossing. We gotta get into this spire over here. Can't get to these places yet. Okay, how about I take a quick look around here? I'm guessing getting into this spire is not going to be easy. Especially considering that from this picture, looks like entrance might be underwater. Ooh, an ambush. Group of mercenaries, members of the Bronze Brotherhood, are blocking the road to Lithian's Crossing. Ha, I thought they were dealt with. But I suppose you need to have some random encounters somehow. Alright, let's take a quick look around. Where they might be? Well, they are up there. Cruiser, Raider. Okay, I do like that they think of having the high ground. Oh, wait a moment. How is this an ambush, exactly? This looks more like a bridge toll. Well, if you're not immediately hostiles...
Stepping lightly.
I might as well, right? Throwing dagger. Not bad. What's this? Lesser sigil, cyclical energies. It's an accent. Where do I keep those? Okay, here we go. Ooh, reduces spell cooldown. Yes, please. I'm going to fiddle with that later. For now we're good. Okay, you have a name. Welby. What's up with you? A tall woman stands here, surveying the area from a small overlook. She glances at you and immediately goes back to watching her surroundings. Welcome to Iron Hall Trail, Fatebinder of Tunon. Okay, so if you know who I am, why did you stop me exactly? She salutes you. My name is Welby, first X for the Bronze Brotherhood. Though I'm not sure that title matters anymore. She pauses to gather her thoughts, then opens her mouth to continue. Instead, she exhales slowly and shakes her head. Never mind, you needn't be burdened with my problems. While I appreciate you coming to me before speaking to Raytomon, you will need to be careful. He has of late been acting out of sorts, and any perceived slight can become a problem for the one who offends him. Choose your words with him carefully. Okay, little bit of diplomatic advice. I appreciate that. How could talking to you offend Raytomon? You chose to speak to the first ex before speaking to the actual first brother, the bodyguard before the leader. How could this mean anything but collusion and treason? I know I speak out of turn, but I only wish to warn you. Tread lightly around Raytomon. Now, if he was the reasonable sort, he wouldn't expect me to know the inner hierarchies of a mercenary gang, so I don't know. What does it mean to be first ex? She sighs. I wish I knew, Fatebinder. The first ex protects and consults with the first brother. I am supposed to be Raytomon's advisor, confidant and guard. Lately, his behavior has become erratic. He's acting paranoid, manic, and distrustful. My duty as first ex is to protect the first brother, but I am also sworn to protect the Brotherhood, and if that means the removal of Raytomon, so be it. He has too many supporters in Lethean's Crossing right now to speak out against him. Okay, what do you think has happened to him? Honestly, I couldn't speak to the cause. The stress of leadership, the battles with Kyros' forces, his night in the Old Walls, Welby shrugs. Does it matter? His behavior is endangering the Brotherhood, and he must be stopped before we are destroyed. I fear people will be hurt by far more than a simple toll. She points south. He is over there, searching corpses, looking for information I know he is not going to find. He ambushed the patrol. He's going to anger an Archon. And for what? His pride. But that does not bode well. Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood. More than we can read here. The Bronze Brotherhood is a mercenary company from the free cities dotting the tier's southern coast. Quite a long way from home, then. Many of these mercenary companies were employed by Kyros' agents and slaughtered during the war. The Bronze Brotherhood survived thanks to their relatively safe posting at Lethean's Crossing, where the Voices of Nerat hired the company to help protect the town's forge operation. Among the most trained and dedicated warriors of the tiers, the Bronze Brotherhood have a reputation for ruthlessness and tenacity. Aggression and decisive thinking are so highly prized by the Brotherhood that the violent, enigmatic Scourge is the group's mascot, a creature most decent folk consider the stuff of nightmares. The term brother is used for mercenaries of both genders, as the company's title harkens back to the archaic notion of living as men. In Tyr's custom, this amounts to releasing all claims to lands, to better assure an employer that the Brotherhood won't covet the realms they're paid to protect. Okay. Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood. Welby laughs a little. We're mercenaries, plain and simple. I'm not going to pretend like it's anything more. While it's true we have, in recent years, been a little more stationary than your typical crew, it doesn't change the fact that our services can be purchased if the price is right. The Voices made an offer to assure our cooperation, and we took it. If I had known Kyros would try to have us thrown out of our home afterward, well, I probably would have still taken the rings, but I would have been a little more prepared for the inevitable conflict. Raytomon will try to sell you on our long and noble traditions, like we're some kind of altruistic saints who can do no wrong. But that story is as old and smelly as Grandma Beastman's tail hairs. Didn't need that mental image, yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to take a job that doesn't seem right to me. But a ring's a ring, and I will go where the money leads me. One point Raytomon and I will agree on is this. We did the job for Kyros, but we were not treated fairly. The Brotherhood is strong, and we have the numbers. We will fight to the last man. I just don't agree with Raytomon's methods. Okay. Welby nods. By your leave, Fatebinder, and be careful. Careful I shall be. Let's do a little quick save. There we go. Now, let's see what this is about. Actually move in from the south. To maybe not be seen by these ones. If we turn violent. Okay, who are you? Esther. Small figure stands before some armor-clad soldiers. His arms move widely as he gestures in frustration, yelling at the man directly in front of him. Absolutely not. I've come through Ironhall Trail more times than I can remember. No one ever asked for a toll before, and I won't be paying one now. Then I guess you're not gonna cross the bridge, dude? He notices you standing nearby and turns to speak. Fatebinder, surely you of all people can help me. My name is Esther, and I must get to Lathian's Crossing. I have goods to deliver. Tell this man I will not be paying a toll, to him or anyone, and he is to let me through. He folds his arms over his chest and nods with a pronounced finality. Greetings, Fatebinder. I am sorry you have been drawn into this. What you've stumbled into here is merely a conflict of the changing times. I am Will of the Bronze Brotherhood. Ironhall Trail is under our protection, and anyone passing through must obey our rules. If this gentleman would like passage through our land, a simple donation is required. He holds out his hand. These funds help our cause and keep Ironhall a safe place for all travelers. Clearly, you both can see the value in that. Esther speaks, his arms swinging about again, emphasizing his words. And who exactly is keeping it safe? You, standing there with your weapons at the ready against me? His arms drop, and he turns to you again. I'm naught but a traveling merchant. I have no money to spare, and I certainly pose no threat to anyone. Keep this area safe indeed. Points at Will. You are the only threat here. Fatebinder, please, talk some sense into this man. Well, I think I'm just gonna pay the toll. Here is payment for the merchant to pass unharmed. Oh wait, he stole? Yeah, fuck no, I'm not paying for other people. Just because he passed through before means nothing. Pay the toll now or head back. Try my patience. Yeah, I got more important things to do. Esther fumes for a few moments, his mouth comically opening and closing in rage. I cannot abide this level of absurdity. He rifles through his belongings and pulls out some rings, slamming them down into Will's outstretched hand. Fine, here is your toll, thief. Now get out of my way. He turns to you, a look of distaste on his face. I will not forget your help, Fatebinder. Not that I care, really. Will smiles and puts the rings in a pouch hanging from his neck. I knew you'd see it my way, Fatebinder. He makes an exaggerated flourish and moves out of Esther's way. And you, my good merchant, thank you for your gracious payment. You may pass. How much should I care about Lathian's Crossing? I already have my spire. I don't think they can give me much more than that. Anyway. Will returns to his position and looks you over, his former genial mood gone. So, a Fatebinder in our little corner of the world. Who'd have ever thought this would happen? He spits between his feet, then crushes it into the dirt with his boot. And now you got your boot dirty on purpose. While I appreciate your help dealing with that merchant, I'm afraid I can't let you pass until you have spoken with our leader, Raytomon. Personally, I thought he was crazy, saying you'd be visiting Lethean's Crossing. Looks like I owe him a few rings. He shakes the pouch around his neck, making the rings inside jingle melodically. Not that there's a shortage of those out there. What can his humble servant of the Brotherhood do for you, Fatebinder? Don't ask me to let you through, because that isn't happening. Someone made the mistake of giving this little man too much power, and he's about to discover what happens when you stand in my way. Okay, do I indulge her? Do I care enough to indulge her? Nah, not right now. Thanks, but I can handle this myself. If you don't feel like paying the toll, I can point you back the way you came, if you need an idea of where to go, because I can't let you through. So, what happened to me needing to talk to the boss? So, where can I find Raytomon? He points south. He's right there, inspecting the corpses of some of Kyros' soldiers. He's bound to be in a good mood right now. He winks at you. Both those dead bodies must be heaven for him. The color drains from his face as soon as the words leave his lips. Please don't tell him I said that. Oh, you know I'm gonna tell him that. I'll be counting the seconds until you return. Oh, there he is. While you are talking to Will, a striking man with a shock of bright blonde hair approaches, moving away from some men searching bodies of slain soldiers to the south. He watches you intently as he closes, his angular features pulling into a look of disdain. And here's the Fatebinder. He doesn't mask the displeasure in his voice. I knew we'd see you. I was just wondering when. What brings you out where no one asked you to come? Are Kyros' dogs ready to be put down again? I won't surrender the crossing, no matter how many times you try to take it. We were hired to protect this city, and we will continue to do so. No one else will have it. He glances at his men, who have stopped to watch the conversation. With a start, they return to searching the bodies. Never mind, waves a hand dismissively. Never mind, waves a hand dismissively. I don't care why you're here. My name is Raytomon. I am the leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. But I'm sure you already know that. Couldn't help but see you over here, talking to Will and that traveling merchant. Only here for a moment, and already sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, aren't you? I don't appreciate others invading my territory, Fatebinder. I told him he had to speak to you, Raytomon. He wanted through, but I told him no. If you don't give me the signal, the Fatebinder isn't getting into Lethean's Crossing. No one will invade your territory. Raytomon stares at Will for a few moments, lips pursed, then continues as if Will never spoke. Probably for the best. Speaking of which, what did Welby have to say? He looks north, where Welby stands, watching you both intently. Has she already started filling your mind with lies about me? She and I are going to have a chat soon. I can't have my first ex countermanding me at every turn. I know she wants my position. Watch yourself while you are a guest in my land. If you have come to stir up more trouble, we are well equipped and will not back down in the defense of what is rightfully ours. He sweeps his arm in front of him, gesturing to the surrounding countryside. Welby and I might not always agree, but that is one point we see eye to eye on. If you step out of line, we will both correct you. His eyes narrow and he leans towards you. You are not welcome here. Well, tough luck for you, buddy. I don't care how welcome I am. I got a job to do. I need to get to Lithian's Crossing. Raytomon considers your request for a moment. If I let you through, you must promise to behave. I have enough problems dealing with everyone else. I don't need the hassle of keeping an eye on you two. So watch yourself. This is my city, and I have eyes everywhere. If you intend to stir up trouble, go somewhere else. I don't need it here. He turns the wheel. Let the Fatebinder through. Do nothing to delay or cause this party, or you'll answer to me. Will gives him a quick salute. Alright then. Let's get out of here. You got Raytomon's permission to go Fatebinder, so go. Wonderful. Okay, and these all look to be disfavored.
I'll be your
corpses.
shadow.
Maybe coincidence, maybe not. You know, I probably could have taken all of them in a fight. Oh well. Okay, is there anything up here where you can so conspicuously
Cut the banter
travel?
and stay low.
No, I suppose not. Okay. Now we can get in here. While making your way through the wilderness, you come upon several dense shrubs, liberally dotted with crimson berries. The fruits are plump and ripe, with a thin skin that gives slightly under the pressure of your touch, hinting at the juice within. Alright, and what do I do with this information? Identify, harvest, defer to ebb, defer to Lantry, continue on. Well, I am the boss here, not gonna defer to any of them. Let's see if I have enough lore to identify this. You recognize the plant as budding rose, a bush that produces edible berries. These are a known aphrodisiac, commonly used in local festivals. Unfortunately, they are also mildly toxic to practitioners of magic. Well, let's get a few of them. And just leave with the berries. Budding rose toxin, placed in stash. Okay. Let's see, on weapon crit. Reduces target lore and wits. Oh, so it's kind of a Mage Bane situation. You secret the berries away. When you next check on them, you find that they've gone slightly off color and mushy. The smell wafting from the fruit reminds you of a corpse. Deciding it might make a worthwhile poison, you bottle the juices. The reeking pulp and the pouch you stored it in, on the other hand, you discard. Well, we got something to use. Oh, looks like there's a whole bunch of stuff. Grab around here. Revive shroom. Blood moss. Ooh, stew of rooting. Let's see. Magical accent which adds a rooted affliction to a force or atrophy spell. Nice, I have those. Little bit of extra debuff. Crowd control is always good to have. Okay, this place looks a little run down. Quite similar to Vendrian's Well, actually, with the way the houses are structured. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things to do here. So, I think I'm gonna hold that one until the next time. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.